everybody. I'm your girl, Sommer Nicole with KissTalk Podcast. And today's episode is sponsored by St. Royal Vodka. Let me tell you about our special guest tonight. Our special guest tonight is the one and only Spencer Charles. Let me tell you, he's a sports agent. He used to be a DJ, but he is an amazing person to know and to get to know, guys. Welcome, Spencer Charles.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm so excited for you to be on my podcast. First of all, it took us like 2 times to get you here because you're such a busy man. You are so busy with sports and all that stuff. I mean, you've been doing your thing for the past plus years. I don't even know. I've been knowing you for so long, but you have been doing your thing, and I am like deeply proud of all the success that you have going on right now. Even through all the challenges and different things that you've experienced over the time, you have still managed to just blossom in your field. And I just want to say congratulations and kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yes.
Your words, they really pierced my heart because for those that don't know, I came up young guy when I moved to Atlanta with Sommer. And did some business things, learned a lot to kind of, help me along my journey. Mm-hmm. And kudos to you. For
Thank
those that don't know, Summer's always been a boss, been ambitious, always been business-minded, always about her coins.
Thank you.
So you definitely inspire me because every time I see you're doing something new, innovative, pushing the limits, definitely Black excellence in Atlanta. Yes. Excited to finally be here, though.
Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate you. So let's tap into it. So you actually started off as a DJ. When I met you, you was DJing for Miller Coors at the time, and I was staffing the models for Miller Coors, which Miller Coors is over 18 brands, which is different types of beers from Blue Moon to Peroni to all those different beers. Mm-hmm. And we actually met at the Arbor Festival, and you was DJing for Miller Coors. So, tell me about how you transitioned from DJing to now sparked your interest into sports.
Okay, so I got to take it back a little bit and I'll be concise. Yes. I actually started off passing out flyers for Jermaine Dupri on the street team with So Deaf. So I would go on tour jackets, pass out flyers. That's how I got into the music business. So when I went to Morris Brown, I always wanted to be like an entertainment exec, right?
Yes.
So long story short is in college I DJ'd, right? And started DJing a local scene here in Atlanta. That's back in then we actually used to dance and have couches all over the place. Met some people and obviously started doing work with Miller. But at some point DJing started to change a little bit. When technology came, the industry got a little more competitive. You had a lot more DJs. And I was just trying to figure out what was next for me because I really always wanted to be an executive. When I went to school it was for entertainment business. So I was like, what can I really do to maybe be more in a corporate environment? So I went and got my master's. I got an MBA in sports management.
Nice.
And then from there, I started coaching middle school football. True story. A friend of mine at church said, "Hey, I want you to come coach my son's football team," because I used to coach and all that good stuff. I said no. Then they asked me again, and I finally came out. I was like, "Man, this is cool." So I coached. I fell in love with the kids and helping athletes and being a mentor. And I was like, you know what? I want to coach high school. Then I got to high school. I was like, I really would love to work with pro guys, and I started looking around and looked at the NFL and some of the requirements, and then spent a whole lot of money and studied my ass off for 2 years and took the exam and kind of went from there.
Nice. Because going from entertainment to now going into sports, they're both in the same, they're next door to each other, right? But what really sparked your interest in say, you know what, I really want to work with athletes or in the sports industry?
So when I was coaching, I kind of built off of that. A lot of athletes, a lot of us come from single parent households. Either the dad is there, the mom is not there. So I started getting involved with, especially when I started coaching high school, with a lot of athletes where they stay at my house, sleep on the couch, helping them financially. And then if you tie that with, my passion and previous experience at a small level working in the entertainment business, I was like, I love mentoring, coaching young men and literally helping them on their journey of life, being a part of the village with the family. That was one piece. And then a lot of my experience I had, even when I was just DJing, I would do DJing contracts, writing those different contracts, writing engagement contracts. So those two I kind of married together. And then when I started doing some research just online, I was like, man, Asian. I was like, this sounds kind of cool. I get to be around the game, I get to be around entertainment, I get to be a mentor and kind of give. My calling in life is servanthood.
Yes.
So tying that with my passion for like business and entertainment, that's what really wanted to make me dive into that water. I had no idea what I was getting into, which we'll get to that, but that's kind of what got me into this industry.
Okay. Who was like maybe your first draft picks? Like your first athlete that you said, I mean, that you actually signed a deal.
Well, I'm not gonna say his name. You actually know who he is, just from a confidentiality standpoint,
Yes.
and trying. There's a legal term in the sports business. It's something called fiduciary. As an NFL sports agent, we have to always
We have that too.
right. So I won't say his name, but my first client, Sommer, believe it or not, when you were in that business, actually did a photo shoot
I'm
for
still in
that
that
client.
business.
She's still in that business, but that client, I won't say his name. He actually played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the year the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes won their first Super Bowl, he was on that team. But how I got him was, so I got my agent license and all that stuff. And as you know, in the entertainment, nobody cares about your degrees and paperwork. I knew in the entertainment business, unless you have a lot of money or you work for a big company, right? I'm not getting a big time athlete, right? I don't have that brand equity. So I started calling around a lot of large training facilities, like who's kind of a diamond in the rough guy. They told me about this guy. He was 6'6", 240 pounds. And I was like, well, if he's like a stud, why aren't the big ages on there? I was like, well, he's been hurt. So tell you what, come by the gym. I'm gonna have you meet his mom. I met his mom, and it kind of went from there. End of the day, it came down to me and Cam Newton's agent. When the mom told me and said it's down to you or Cam Newton, I said, oh shit, I'm not signing with y'all because I don't have any big clients. I don't have a big agency. I mean, I had some money, but I don't have like millions of dollars. So why would y'all sign with me? But they were faith based. I was faith based, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything either. But we prayed. And they called me the next day and said, well, we're ready to sign. He's going to be your client. And I said, tell me what made y'all go with me. They just said, you seem hungry, ambitious, and the fact that you acknowledge the Lord. And I'm not one of these Christians that say, I'm perfect, right, by any means, or where there's a bad, so you should do business. But it was just like, you just seem very honorable, hungry, ambitious guy. And that was my first client. And then the story with him was he actually didn't get drafted, but we went to a couple All-Star games. And the thing that's important in the sports business, All-Star games after the college football season's over, all the NFL teams are there, and they're working the guys out. So he performed very well, and I'm on the sidelines talking to all the coaches, talking to all the teams. And the Chiefs, 49ers, and a couple other teams really showed interest. So I worked their ass up into the draft, and all of them said, hey, we're not going to draft him because he's pretty much been hurt a lot. But we really like him, and, we're going to sign him as undrafted. So when draft night comes, my phone's not ringing. I'm like, damn. Family's calling me. I'm like, damn, this is my first client. Like, damn, I'm already like looking bad. And I called the Chiefs, and then they hung up on me. And then I called again. And long story short is they said, we're going to send over a contract, and it just kind of went from there. And then, like I said, he was on the team with Patrick Mahomes when they won their first Super Bowl in 2020 in Miami. And it just kind of went from there. So.
Wow. I didn't even know that information.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for sharing your story of, your first draft pick.
Yeah.
I mean, just off of your first draft pick, you went through that, all of that in one. And that's probably many, many stories that a lot of agents probably go through. It's just like different ups and downs with the sports industry. But does that take away from your passion though? Like, does that take away from your drive and your ambition towards that industry when you have those moments where things may not work out in your favor?
So I'll even talk about some of the challenges because I'm not one of them people always want to come out. I want people to understand the struggles it takes. So that client, we're actually not even together anymore. But my point is, if you do what you love and you really love the hustle, not the money, everything comes. So here again, I love football. I walked on at Morris Brown and then work out. I coach kids for free in high school, middle school, and then I'm a servant, a guy. I'm passionate about helping people. And then I realized I was great at writing contracts in the entertainment business and froze my ass off for Jermaine Dupri and all that back in just passing out flyers. So I was passionate about the entertainment business. I was passionate about sports. I was passionate about helping people. So for me, it was like a long-term goal. It was a long-term journey. So I wasn't like fixated on, nowadays, it's so easy to be Instagram famous. Everybody got a website, IG. I was focused on the long-term journey because it's something I loved and was very passionate
Most
about.
definitely. So how many contracts have you signed in the NFL so far?
So player contracts, 10. And then you start talking like endorsements off the field, Probably about a good 50.
Yes.
And here's the thing I'll say about this real quick. It really where you earn your money from an agent perspective or a sports agent or entertainment agent is getting people opportunities off the field or off the stage. It's those incremental things, the product endorsements we're talking about, which the drink is very great. You know, all those ancillary opportunities. So that's a big piece of it as well.
So do you teach your agents about, because you know I'm a real estate agent, so we have to put that out there. But do you teach your clients about real estate? Do you teach them, hey guys, save your money, you know, invest, you know, don't spend your money on all the luxury things so quickly, like as rookies, because when they get into the industry and they get on that field and they start making all the money that they're making, like how do you coach them as an agent?
Okay, so to set the table, I want to quantify. I'm gonna use my degree, mama, so I'm gonna use some big words.
Okay.
So with the NFL, certified NFL sports agents cannot technically be financial advisors because it's a conflict of interest. You don't want, you know, your chef to also do the grocery cooking because you hear about people in the music business, hey, you do my books, you do my management, where's all my money, right? But all agents do, there's a term called fiduciary, you do want to do the right thing, so we do try to counsel them. And so here's what I do with players to try to get their attention. 85% of all NFL athletes' careers are within 3 years, and then they are broke and or divorced. So 85%. I sit down with them, and then we talk about goals because most guys say, when I got to the league, mama, we made it, we're up for life, right? And so we sit down and I go over those stats. So I try to use like fact-based data. Now with young guys, I'm gonna be honest, easy going one eye after the other because I ain't never had nothing. You know, I want to take care of my family, I want to be on and all that. But I try to sit down with guys and kind of get them to understand historically, here's what happens to guys in your position. What are your goals? And then I partner with different vendors, a realtor, a financial advisor. And here's where real estate, which even correlates to you, is when guys get drafted, they go to a city, right? If I'm an NFL athlete, if I don't make a lot of money, I probably don't need to get a big house, right? I probably need to get something that I can afford, right? But then, okay, let's say I'm from Atlanta. I got drafted to a team in New York, but I live in Atlanta in the off season. So do you want to get a house here? Investment-wise, what makes the best sense?
Right.
So for me is kind of going over kind of like, just the historical facts of guys being successful, understanding kind of what's your long-term goals. And most time guys about getting to the league is about long-term success and then developing kind of plan a blueprint and then bringing in the experts, realtors, financial advisors, so they have long-term success. And the one thing I will say this about being an agent, if you do not do that stuff, you will get fired because as an agent, it's a fire will business. They can fire me at any time. I can fire them at any time.
Right.
And keeping clients happy is, taking care of their best interests and setting them up for long-term success.
I love that. I really do because I feel like every athlete needs that guidance because they making so much money at one time and every year they making so much, a large sum of money, but a lot of times they spend it on jewelry, they spend it on traveling, they're spending on all the different things that's not going to bring them residual income or long-term income. And because like you said, 3 years max, I mean, they're done. So with that being said, as agents, you guys have to set them up with a certain type of people, like you said, experts, to guide them in the right direction for financial wealth. And I think that's awesome. And I applaud you for that if you are doing that with your clients. Now, my thing is, like, I want to know more about, who is Spencer? Like, where do you come from? Like, how did you move to Atlanta and say, hey, I'm about to get into the entertainment industry. I'm about to get into the sports industry. I'm about to go to school for all the things that I'm doing. Where are you from? How you got started?
So, complicated answer, but in short, I'm hometown in San Diego, California. I'm a West Coast guy.
Okay.
But I'm really technically like a military kid or Navy brat, as they say. My mom was in the United States Navy. I love my mom to death. She's very strict, disciplined. We moved all around the world, but pretty much the elementary, middle school, high school in California. That's where I got my vibe, culture, everything. But my mom was originally from Atlanta, so that's the connection to Atlanta. So once I finished school, back home in San Diego, California, which is about an hour and a half south of LA, she decided to move back out to the A. And I was like, you know what? Back in the day, everybody wanted to come to Atlanta because everybody got down here after the Olympics and Morehouse and Spelman. Ended up going to Morris Brown, tried to play football, that didn't work out. But I always loved sports, right? That's my why. Anything you do in life, you have to have a why or reason that drives you. So that work at Morris Brown had an entertainment, a business entertainment program, right? So that kind of was a gateway. Then I had a homeboy who was my roommate at Morris Brown. He was an intern at So Def. That was kind of my gateway without going on a long road in that story into the entertainment business. He got me an interview with the street team, and I got turned out. When I say turned out, just my eyes got big. I got to go on tour. Now I was on the street team passing flyers out, but I got to meet like Jay-Z and be backstage and meet Missy Elliott, all the Cash Money. And I seen all these guys with jewelry money, and then I got to see the guys who were actually doing the deals and running the contract. I was like, I don't really know what I wanted to do, but I was like, man, y'all making this money.
But you like that.
Yeah, and the travel,
Yes.
and it was exciting. And then just seeing the power these guys had. Like Jermaine's dad is a guy named Michael Milton.
Yes.
And he was the brains, but he wasn't on stage. So anyway, long story short, that time at So Def, that time at Morris Brown in a music entertainment program, and then I started playing around with DJing and production, things like that. That's what got me into this business. The other pieces, like I said, my mom was a single parent, right? I grew up without my dad. So when I started coaching, that was a way to kind of, kind of come full circle and pour into other young men's lives.
Yes.
So, and in my life, calling and serving, I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I really care about people. If you're honest and genuine, all that stuff. So, being able to like help men, we talk about, because these guys, you get women sliding their DMs, trying to get money.
All that.
They got family members.
Once they get
on
signed, their DMs are flooded. I was like, good. It's easy for them when they first sign a deal.
Yeah, so these guys look for people that trust them. So for me, that's how I got into the business.
Yeah.
Just caring about black men, loving the business and loving sports.
Yes, great. So what is your ideal client?
Whew, that's a tough one. Here again, I'm always trying to be diplomatic because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Somebody who's really loyal. I'll share with you a story now, because I'm trying to inspire people. Like, I'm not some overnight. I still wouldn't say I'm successful to that level, but overnight success. I just had a client. He signed with the world's biggest sports agency called CAA. We flew this client down to. I'm with the Agency One Sports Agency in Miami. We flew him down. Had a nice little meeting, all that good stuff, and I had developed a relationship with this guy for 3 years before he became like famous and big. Long story short, I'm signed with a bigger agency just because bigger, faster, stronger, all that. So the ideal client to me is somebody who is like really loyal because of the relationship.
Right.
And then when it came down to sign, to really get you to understand, we offered the same amount of terms and things like that. But he went with them just because they were the new shiny. So a client that is really loyal, that really trusts that you have their best interests at heart. Because as you embark on this journey, you're going to have all these people pulling up on you. You're going to have new business people, new women or men pulling on you. But our bond, because of, I've proven myself and we've built that trust. Just really somebody that's loyal. And then we have that open communication because stuff comes up all the time. But can we sit down and talk free of emotions? So I would say those are some of the things of an ideal client.
That's awesome. I want to also just kind of tap into what just currently happened to you and your daughter. And I'm sorry that happened to you guys when you were on your way to church and then you had that accident that happened. Can you kind of explain that to us? I know that's a touching subject, but if you don't mind, just kind of sharing with everyone, how you overcame that traumatizing situation.
Yeah, so the Sunday before Thanksgiving, I take my daughter to church every Sunday, and I felt like I was having like a little cold, so I looked in my cabinet and got some cough medicine. I think it was like some Dayquil or whatever. Took some Dayquil just because I don't want to be coughing on folks in church and nothing like that. You know how folks is, especially coming out for COVID.
Yes.
And I took about an hour for church, and then we're driving to church, and then probably about a light before I got a little fuzzy. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm on some lean or something. Like, I was like, man, I feel different. And I started feeling hot. But then I get to the next light, returning to church. I blacked out for probably about 5 seconds and hit somebody's car, tore their bumper off, and then it totaled my car completely. I blacked out. The police was called, the ambulance was called. I had my 10-year-old daughter with me. When the police got there, they started treating me more as I was more like a criminal, not like kind of was a car accident. So the police didn't read my Miranda rights, didn't give me sobriety test. They said, you don't smell like you have any alcohol. I said, no, sir, I hadn't had alcohol because I had just had a small medical procedure. So I said, I hadn't had a drink in a week. But long story short, they ended up throwing me in jail without taking a sobriety test or anything like that. I had to call my ex-wife, my actual girlfriend, kudos to her, call my ex-wife because she was on the phone, and I said, can you have her come get my daughter in case they come get me because I don't have a good feeling. So my ex-wife was able to get there right before they threw me in the back of the police car. Then I got thrown in jail for 2 days because it was a Sunday, and the way they do in Cobb County is they make you sit for like 2 days. So, there was fear in the back of my mind, like, man, I got business to take care of. I can't get to a phone. But fortunately, my family was able to deal with that stuff. But I pretty much blacked out in front of church and off cough medicine, just trying to do the right thing, go to church and praise the Lord. And I got a potential case of DUI with suspicion of drugs. I got to fight with an attorney and stuff like that. Here again, like I said, I'm not really overly concerned because, like I said, I just took cough medicine, didn't have any illegal substance thing like that in my system.
You're going to church trying to do the right thing.
Right. I will say what was hard is because I am faith-based. When I was sitting in jail, I was like, Lord, I don't understand how I got here. I'm sitting here. I'm not judging, but I'm in here people who was really out here thugging. I was on my way to praise you with my daughter, and I almost didn't go because I was like, man, I can stay home, watch church online like a lot of us do now. But I was like, I need to hear some word because I have stuff just like everybody else going on. I was like, I need to hear some word today, Lord. I told myself, come on, we're gonna go to church. So I was sitting in the gym like, Lord, how I end up here and now my car's totaled and I got a clean driving record, I got a clean criminal record. I'm not judging anybody what's going on in their lives, but for me it's just like I handle my business and I'm sitting here in jail. And my car's totaled and my daughter had almost seen me get locked up and now she kinda got a little PTSD. I'm like, and I was angry. I had to call my spiritual advisor, and she's a minister in Texas, which she's part of the Sanders family, and she said to me, Spencer, God didn't create that cause of accident to happen, but it is some things he wants you to learn. And we talked about like how Job got swallowed by a whale. My favorite story in the Bible is about a guy named Joseph. Joseph got betrayed by his brothers. They sold him to be a slave. He was in jail. Her point was, Spencer, any great person, man and woman in life, is not immune to adversity just because you're a Christian. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times, God will have you learn lessons and teach you things out of negative situations. So out of some of these situations, I will say one thing for me, and this goes back to me in a sermon, just sharing my message is gratitude, because we're in this world now. I need more all the time. Not having a spirit of contentment. These are things I deal with. Oh, I need more clients. I need more money. I need a bigger car. And God was like, you already got everything you need. And when you sit in a cell and you can't watch TV you want, or I can't walk down to my daughter's room when I want, you're like, damn, you know what? I really do got it good. I'm just sharing my story. Like I got divorced a couple years ago. I lost a lot of my family. Like one of the things I dealt with was like, man, I don't have a lot of family. But then when I was sitting in that cell, my ex-wife called. My girlfriend called my ex-wife. I had people come out and was like, damn, I really do got family. So one of the things is like out of that, just gratitude, appreciating the things I have. Another thing I will say, and this is for a lot of us, we all do, and I'm not judging anybody. I wasn't drinking, I have been drinking, but have I been out and kicking and had drinks and probably drove when I should? Yes. Best believe it's a good reminder now, like if I am going to really go turn up, because that situation happened, I was on the right thing then. Now when I'm out kicking it hard, I'm gonna think twice about, maybe I should get an Uber or, figure out how I'm gonna do this. So, but it was an interesting situation. I'll say that.
I'm glad you guys got through that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are, you made it through. You guys, you're out of jail, and and whatever it takes to make that situation right, I know you will.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that you all are okay. And I wanted to touch on that because that was a touching subject, a touching topic, and it was something that caught my attention. And I said, I have to ask him about that on our podcast.
Now, I appreciate you asking,
yes. And that's something that it's relatable. People go through it all the time. And, some people make it out and some people don't.
They don't. And I'll say this in the entertainment business before we move forward. A lot of times we project an image, and that's why, IG or TV, they call my pastor says television. We all go through things, and sometimes your mess is a message for somebody else. So I appreciate you asking.
No, for sure. Okay, so what are some of your plans for the future? Like, what do you have planned for 2024?
I'm still trying to figure it out. But I do want to take it to the next level as far as with the agency thing. I kind of want to get in that top 10 percentile.
Yes.
because the top 10 agents make like 60% of the money. So when I say top 10, like really dealing with the big time guys who are doing these mega deals, 30, $40 million deals. So probably going after the kind of the bigger fish type of clients is a big thing. I have a lot of college students reaching out to me about getting into the sports business. I'm doing a lot of speaking. So trying to figure out how I can get more involved, like at Georgia State, Kennesaw State, within the Atlanta community from an education standpoint, educating prospective students and people who want to get into this business, because it's one thing to take a test or get a degree, but what are the steps? How do you build a plan to get into business? So finding ways to kind of give back to open the door up to get other people get into this business. And why is that important to me? I never met an agent until I became an agent. So the fact that I can be a vessel to help other people get on, because I knew how hard it was for me. So figuring out how to get other young people into this business, educate them, and then probably trying to jump in the top 10% of that. And then another thing I'll say for me, a couple other things, family's important to me, so continue to be more involved with my daughter. She gets older, she'll be 11. And then I've been dating somebody for a while, getting ready to be 3 years, so trying to figure out what's next with that.
I
I'ma
see
leave it at
marriage
that.
in the future. I see all kind of stuff going on now.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah.
And you guys have been long distance too, and I know
You covered all the topics.
I know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
but that also is really, to me, I feel like long distance relationships like that, it balances out, because you're a very busy man, and I'm sure she's a busy woman because she's a makeup artist and she does a lot of things for herself as well. But for y'all to balance it out, I think that's amazing, to give each other that space, and then when y'all come together, it's amazing. So
Yeah.
I do admire what you guys have
It's
going
hard.
on.
It's hard though.
Yes.
It's definitely hard.
Most definitely. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. We have like a little game that we play called Kiss and Tell. So tell us more about are you a NFL or NBA?
Personally or business wise?
Just in general. What do you like more, NBA, NFL?
Actually college football, but I would say NFL.
Okay.
My family's from Alabama, so roll tide. Gonna be Michigan, but I just love football because it's alpha females, dog eat dog, but I do like basketball. I'm a football guy.
Okay. So you don't see any plans on any
Branching in the NBA? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Text or call?
Text don't have tone, and then you can interpret it 50 million ways. And which is interesting, the person I'm dating is more of a texter, so it's been kind of interesting as we try to. But phone has tone, and then if you think about back in the day, I'm an OG, whatever. There was no texting.
Yeah.
But there's balance with it. But I'm more of a fielder,
So call. You like to check the temperature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Jay-Z or Nas?
Oof. In which aspect though? Because here I'm gonna say this, and this is the DJ me. Nas is one of the greatest MCs, lyricists of all time. Jay's to me is probably the greatest rapper of all time.
Yes.
You're talking about Aunt Mogul. I mean, he got Bae. Look what he did with her career. Commercial success. So overall, I would say Jay is the GOAT, the greatest rapper of all time. But just you talking about bar for bar MCing, Nas is the illest. I know I'm not really answering the question, but
Yeah.
I think if you held a gun in my head, I'd probably say Jay-Z. Even if you go back to his older music, he's just talking about Reasonable Doubt, making money and all that good stuff.
Okay. I know this might be crazy. I kind of pulled this off the top of my head, but Jordan or Deion Sanders? I know that's like not. It's kind of like a little.
Well, it's two different sports, so the reason I'm kind of like stirring my words is the Sanders family kind of took me in.
Yeah.
When I got in the business, they helped me get into the business. Mm-hmm. So my loyalty is to the Sanders family. But before I met them, Michael Jordan was like my child hero growing up, because I've just never seen somebody with that mentality to get it done.
Yeah.
Just very fierce competitor.
Yeah.
He was like Superman. He's always gonna come through the clutch. And then, look what he's doing now. He's been retired since 2003, 21 years. And his brand is dunks, Jays.
He got everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Deion Sanders is killing it too.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing amazing things.
Yeah, and I call him Mr. Sanders.
Mr. Sanders, yes, Mr.
But
Sanders.
yeah, he's not even done yet. He's not even done.
And you actually work with his daughter.
Yeah, so DeAndre Sanders, I met her through a friend when I first got my license. And the real quick story with her is somebody's like, you need some help because nobody know you. And like, I got a friend of mine, Deion Sanders' daughter lives in Atlanta. I want you to meet her. And then I sat down and she was just kind of looking me up and down like, who are you? Like, Spencer? Like, but long story short, I had a good plan. She believed in me. And then she actually believed in me enough to help me sign my first client. Then she took me to meet her dad, which I was nervous out of my mind. But yeah, she lives here in Atlanta. DeAndre Sanders is a mogul herself, influencer, businesswoman. So yeah.
That's
amazing,
awesome.
Amazing person.
And I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a photographer for some of your clients and just allowing me to even have you on our show. I just appreciate you for the opportunities you have given me. And I don't take anything for granted. I love my relationships. I love my friends. And you are considered one of my friends.
Yeah, likewise.
And I just want to say thank you so much, Spencer.
Thank you for having me here. I'm going to share a quick story. But one thing before that, we still have more work to do, more business to do.
Most definitely.
Definitely. I don't know if you remember, Summer and I used to always kind of have little business sinks at Justin's back in the day. Old school.
Justin's.
And Summer, I know it's nice and fair skinned and sweet. But I said something to you, and you almost bit my head off to the point of, I remember nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show came out and said, he said, damn, what did you do to her? I was like, I don't know. Then I was like, man, I know Summer's like, a nice, lady and all that. I was like, man, that lady a boss. But thank you for having me.
Yes, I appreciate it. And everybody, tune in to what Spencer Charles is doing and let them know where they can find you and your business.
So my Instagram is Agent SC3. S is in Sam, C is in Charlie number 3, Agent SC3. And then I'm with the sports agency in Miami called Agency One Sports Management Group. I'm not hard to find. I've been here in Atlanta a long time, and I do all different types of business. So reach out to me, whatever you need. I want everybody to get it.
Tell them who to look out for right now that's playing right now as one of your clients.
So I would say my client this year is a guy named Jamie Robinson, played at Florida State, defensive back. A lot of talent, a lot of big time things. They're not having the best season this year because there are a lot of injuries. But Jamie Robinson is actually from Georgia, played at Florida State, played at the University of South Carolina, and he's a Georgia guy. So Jamie Robinson is something else we probably talk about.
Yes, and who's he signed with right now?
He signed with the Carolina Panthers, right up the street, Atlanta Falcons rival.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much, Spencer. And you guys tune in to Spencer. Follow him right now. And thank you so much for tuning in to Kiss Talk Podcast. And that is a wrap.